Yes, sir?
Now we're now we're going to make a 3D solid by stacking 3D shapes perpendicular to the 3D base. This is very difficult to visualize, but if you know how to find the area of the base and you remember the formula to the right, you will be able to solve any problem. Remember, you always have to first determine if the integration is respect to x or y.
So let's do a bunch of recall from geometry. To find the area of a square with the side of S, what would the formula of the area be? S squared. S cubed would be the volume. Y'all remember the formula for the equilateral triangle back in geometry? Equilateral. When only given a side, without using the word B and the H.
Oh, side squared times
Root 3 over 4. And the way we're going to write this for calculus is going to be the numbers on the outside first. Write this out because these are what you need to memorize. Some of them you should already have memorized, but it's been a while. For a rectangle, I know it's length times the width, but if I ask you to use the base S and the height H, what can we say? S times H. The semicircle with the diameter S is the one that I need to show more work on. So go out up to the top margin, and let's write out. The area of a circle is pi r squared. But I'm looking at a semicircle, so half of the area, with the diameter not being D, S. So let's fill it in. If I want a semicircle, I need 1/2, correct? And I have my pi. My radius for this one, given that one diameter is S, I could denote that as S over 2, all squared. So let's further elaborate this. I have 1 over 2. I also have pi. And if I distribute the squared, that's going to give us psi squared over 4. Is that true? And our last simplification is going to be 1 over 8 pi side squared. The way we are going to write is going to be pi all over 8 side squared. So on your new card, I want you to write out the following. And I do want you guys to memorize this. Is this already on our Google Classroom in the folder?
Yes.
Yep, it's ready to go.
Why is it just pi r squared divided by 2?
Because we want to write it in terms of S. If we write everything in terms of S on this one, it's going to make our life really easy that I'm going to show you on the bottom. Okay? So I feel like if any, you'll probably need to rememorize this formula and the last formula. Okay? So let's see how we actually can use this. And I do want you to circle the sides. Everything revolves around the sides. All right. Sam, let's read this piece out loud, please.
If cross sections are perpendicular to the x-axis with respect to x, if cross sections are perpendicular to the y-axis with respect to y.
So if I were to give you a problem like this on your test or on the quiz, I'm going to say perpendicular to the x-axis, and I want you to understand that is respect to the x. And then perpendicular to the y-axis also means respect to the y. So on this problem, on the very bottom, let's underline what I'm looking for. What do I want this respect to? With respect to y. So that means I need everything in terms of x. So looking at this, isn't that the standard form of a circle formula?
Yes.
What is a radius by looking at that? 5. And we know the area is going to be 25 pi. You don't really need that information, but it doesn't hurt. So because I need to go ahead and make it with respect to y, I need x by itself. So let's do some algebra. X squared is equal to 25 minus y squared. Everyone writing? And then for me to make x by itself, what do I need on both sides? Square root. And something unique, when I square root on both sides, do I only get positive answer?
No.
We get plus or minus of this whole thing. And I know it looks fancy, and you might be tempted to simplify it, but please don't. Because those of you guys thinking 5 minus y, you're making up math. Please don't. All right, so by looking at this, on the graph below, let's put dots around the radius of 5. And then the hardest thing that you might be doing all week is making a circle. Make a circle around those 4 points. If it looks oval, that's okay. Was that a good one? If you can't do a little sketch like mine, you could hide a lot of mistakes. Did anyone's look like a lemon? Circle? That's my circle. So on my circle, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight the right. Here's my right side. And highlight the left. Because if it is with respect to the y, we're looking at the right and the left function. So here's what I want. Give me a dot somewhere on the left, and give me another dot directly across, and make yourself a thin rectangle. Could be wide, doesn't matter. So this piece is what we've been doing on the last lesson. So we are going to integrate. The right function is square root of 25 minus y squared minus my left function in parentheses is negative radical 25 minus y squared. And then we have dy. That's a y. So what is my lowest y value and the highest y value here? For us to integrate the upper and lower bound. 5 and negative 5, or negative 5 on the bottom, 5 on the top. So here's the beauty of this. What we just found right here, all of this is my side. So if you would, go ahead and write on here, all of that is my side. And that's why we were circling the side with a highlighter on the formula or on our flashcard. So let's do the first one. Number 1, let's look at our formula chart. If I know what I have is one side, what all do I need to use for this square? Take all of that and do what? Square it. Let's do that. So take all of that from negative 5 to 5. And because I'm squaring the whole thing, start with the parentheses. And copy down the side that we wrote on the top. It's quite tedious today. Xavier, we're writing. And I got 2 parentheses, so I need another one, dy. And that's going to help us find the volume of the base of a circle with a bunch of squares over it. So, what's up? Oh, I need to square that. You caught it. Oh, dear. All right, let's go to our formula chart. Not formula chart. Let's go to our calculator. There is something annoying about the calculator. When you do math 9, do y'all see the parentheses already get pre-populated on the left and on the right? That means you have to manually put in another parentheses on the outside and outside. Otherwise, it's going to not calculate it for us because it's not within all dy. We're going to get there. Did you put in math 9 real quick? Okay, type in negative 5 to 5. So when I'm inside the parentheses, I already have my outside parentheses. So I'll start with another one. Square root of 25 minus, I'm going to use x. Y'all can use y if you want. Minus, notice I have another parentheses right here. I need it. Then I have negative. Then I have 25 minus x squared. I need 2 parentheses because I have 2 right after it, squared. So here's what I want you to count. Do I have the equal amount of open parentheses as my closed parentheses? So in this case, I have 1, 2, 3 opened, 1, 2, 3 closed. That should be consistent. Otherwise, a calculator is going to give you an error message, and we don't want that. All right. Let's see what the volume of this might be. It's going to be a big number, right? And I want to go ahead and put this as fraction.
Wait, Ms. Barkley, how do you do it as a fraction?
You go to math, enter.
Oh, if I'm working.
2,000 over 3. So this is why having that side is very, very crucial. So if you messed up, tap on your neighbor and be like, hey, what'd I do? Most likely it's the parentheses.
If you just leave the decimal, would it be kind of flips off?
It won't be off, but I'm going to use this answer to answer the next one. So,
My calculator's not working.
I don't know.
Well, it's 2,000 over.
All right,
Thank you.
I'm going to go on to the next part, part B. I don't know why I wrote 1, but that's A. Let's go to B. Okay, on B, we have what shape this time? Semicircle. So looking at the formula, will it make sense for us to take out radical 3 over 4 outside of our integral? Yes? Well, actually, semicircle. My bad. Pi over 8. Take out the pi over 8 outside. And isn't side squared the same thing as what we had on the square? So let's go ahead and copy all of that. And I'm going to give you a shortcut after this one, in case you're like, I don't like that whole parentheses on the calculator. And that's okay. Oh, minus. Oh no, it's quite cramped. So I'm basically copying the side squared directly above. Okay, let's talk about this before you start typing all of this miserably. Listen carefully. Because this side squared is basically 2,000 over 3, can I take the previous answer and multiply by pi over 8? Oh yeah, I can. I prefer that. 2,000 over 3 times pi over 8. So without typing all of that integral, it's going to give us some fancy number. And let's see if we can make this into a fraction. Nope. When it doesn't give it to you, just write it as a decimal to 3 decimal places. How would I round that? 799?
Yeah.
Stitch 799. Perfect. Okay, let's go to part C.
Ms. Barkley,
Yes, ma'am.
can I go to the bathroom?
Make it real quick. Part C has equilateral triangle. So what number am I going to take outside of the integral? What number? Radical 3 over 4. And y'all realize the remaining is the same thing as a square, that we can just carry that over with?
Yeah.
So let's just copy. But because I don't want to type all of that integral equation, can I use 2,000 over 3 and multiply by radical 3 over 4? Yes, I can. So I'm going to go right here, put in radical 3 and 4. So here's what I have. Oh. I got 288-ish. Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
288 point, how would I round that number?
675.
675. Beautiful. And then our last one is going to be an issue. The last one is the rectangle. So is my side squared? So this one we have to type in the integral, okay? So we were a little lazy on B and C, but we can't do that for this one. Let's change this problem. I don't want 2y. Let's say I have a height of a constant of 2. So for this one, what number am I going to kick outside of the integral? The 2. And it's just the side on this one. So from -5 to 5, it is not squared. So we have radical 25 minus y squared minus the negative radical 25 minus y squared and dy. Now, what is a calculator going to force us to add on to? Another parentheses. It just opens another one for us. So let's type this in together. Math 9. I should have 2 at the beginning, right? -5 to 5. Oh, for my light bulb? Okay, I'll be done like in 1 minute. And then notice the parentheses already there. So we have 25 minus x squared. Move over, minus the parentheses of negative. Those of you guys not practicing on this one and you get stuck, that's going to be really sad. Okay, let's see. Count your open parentheses at the beginning and the end. Do I have even amount?
No.
2 open and 2 closed. That's pretty even, right? The calculator's working hard for us today. Oh. 157 point what? 080. So as long as you know your side, B and C was easy to do by borrowing the answer from A. D was not squared, so we had to manually type it in.